I don't scare easily, but something learned how I breathe. My name is Daniel Reeves. I work as a field technician testing environmental sensors, CO2, particulate matter, air quality, things that follow rules you can verify. My job is built on data, repeatable results, patterns that don't change unless something changes them. That's why I've been trying and failing to explain what happened last November. It was supposed to be routine, a remote section of northern Georgia near a protected watershed, hike in, recalibrate 2 stations, stay overnight, hike out. I've done it dozens of times alone. I prefer it that way, fewer variables, fewer unknowns. That day was completely normal, cold dry air, clear trail, no recent animal activity, no other hikers. I reached the first station around noon, finished in under an hour, logged everything, took photos, nothing unusual. The second station was 3 miles deeper. By the time I got there the light had that late day fade where everything turned slightly gray before sunset. I remember thinking I should have started earlier, not because I was worried, just because it would make the morning easier. I set up camp about 200 feet from the station in a small clearing, no wind, good visibility, nothing dense enough to hide anything large, textbook spot. I ate, checked readings again, and turned in early. There was no signal so I powered my phone off. The last time I checked the time it was 9:17 p.m. I fell asleep almost immediately. I woke up without knowing why, no sound, no movement, just that sudden total awareness like something had pulled me out of sleep on purpose. It was completely dark. My watch said 2:38 a.m. My breathing was wrong, too fast, too shallow, like I'd been running. I tried to slow it down, in through the nose, out through the mouth, but the air didn't feel right, not outside, inside, like it wasn't matching me. I held my breath, and I heard another inhale, not an echo, not delayed, separate, close, inside the tent. I stayed completely still. My brain tried to fix it, fabric shift, pressure change, anything. I inhaled slowly again. It inhaled too, just a fraction late. Exhaled, not perfectly, close, like it was copying. I reached slowly for my headlamp. The breathing stopped instantly like it noticed the movement. I froze with my hand halfway there, second stretched, then something touched the back of my neck, light pressure, deliberate, like 2 fingers placed there to feel a pulse. I swung my arm back and hit nothing, just air and nylon. I grabbed the light and turned it on. For less than a second I saw it. Not a full shape, just a distortion, like heat, rippling in air, pressed between me and the tent wall, then snapping away the moment the light hit. The tent was empty. My pack was where I left it, my boots by the entrance, nothing inside. I kept the light on, silence, then the zipper moved, just a short pull, testing. I didn't think. I sprayed the entrance with bear spray and shoved my boot against the door. Something reacted immediately outside, fast, scraping through leaves, then crashing off into the dark. Within seconds the forest went completely silent again. I didn't sleep. When the first gray light came through the tent I checked the inside. Condensation covered the fabric, which was normal. The pattern wasn't. There were 2 clear breathing zones, one where my head had been, and one directly behind it. Same height, same spacing, as if something had been lying inches away from me, facing me, matching my breath. I packed up fast, no food, no coffee, just moved. I told myself there was a physical explanation I hadn't found yet, something measurable, something that would fit. About 20 minutes into the trail I saw footprints ahead of me, bare, human-shaped, wrong. The stride didn't make sense, too short in some places, too long in others, like whoever made them didn't understand how walking works. They crossed the trail back and forth, weaving from one side to the other. Like something pacing, staying with me without following a straight path. I stopped. The forest went completely still, no wind, no birds, nothing. Then I heard it again, breathing, not from one direction, from multiple points around me, slipping in and out of sync. I forced myself to keep walking, slow, controlled, like I hadn't noticed. It stayed with me, not chasing, not approaching, just present, matching me. For a moment I made a mistake. I held my breath again. Everything stopped completely. Then something exhaled directly in my ear, close enough that I felt it, warm, real. I didn't turn around, I didn't run, I just kept walking. I made it back to my truck just after noon. I locked the doors immediately and sat there for a long time before I could start the engine. I didn't tell anyone. There wasn't anything I could point to that would sound real, just patterns. Just a feeling that something had found me first and then adjusted itself to fit me. A month later I had to Review the data logs from that trip, routine report. I pulled up the air readings from the second station. Everything looked normal until the overnight window. From 2:32 a.m. to 2:41 a.m. there was a localized fluctuation in CO2 levels inside the sensor radius, not the forest, just that small area. The pattern alternated, one rise, then another slightly offset, two separate respiration cycles. I checked the system twice, no errors. It had recorded exactly what it was designed to record, two breathing sources where there should have only been one. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. 2 weeks later I was home, asleep in my apartment, door locked, windows closed. I woke up the same way, no sound, no movement, just that awareness. My breathing was already fast. I held it, and I heard it again, another inhale. Close, not outside the room, inside it, right behind me. I didn't move, I didn't turn around. I waited until I couldn't anymore and had to breathe. It inhaled with me, slightly delayed, like it was practicing. I stayed awake until morning. Every sound in the apartment felt wrong, too clear, too deliberate. I tried to ignore it, told myself it was stress, my brain replaying something it didn't understand. I went back to work, only day assignments, no overnights. It faded. Not completely but enough to function. Then I made another mistake. I tried to measure it. I left my phone recording overnight. I don't remember opening the app, but in the morning there was a file, 2:41 a.m., 8 seconds long. I played it once. You can hear me breathing, fast, uneven, and underneath it slightly out of sync there's another pattern, slower, controlled. It changes halfway through, adjusts, gets closer. I deleted it immediately. I don't keep copies, but I remember it perfectly. After that I started noticing small things, the way my breath fogged the mirror, 2 arcs instead of 1, the way condensation formed on a glass at night, slightly offset patterns, subtle, easy to ignore, but I wasn't ignoring it anymore. I started testing it, holding my breath at random times, during the day, in the car, in empty rooms, most of the time nothing, then sometimes a delay, not a clear sound, just a presence catching up, matching, learning. I stopped testing, stopped recording. Because that's when I understood something I couldn't explain. It wasn't random, it was improving. I don't take overnight assignments anymore. I told them it's more efficient to work during the day, less margin for error. That's what I said, that's what they accepted. But every night before I fall asleep I do the same thing. I hold my breath, just for a second, just to check if I'm alone. Most nights nothing happens, or it waits. I can't tell which is worse, because sometimes in that 1 second I feel it hesitate. Like it's deciding whether to follow me or go first, and once I let it, I exhaled and didn't inhale again. I waited, and in the dark right behind me something took a slow steady breath before I did. The next morning I checked something I hadn't checked before, the data app on my phone. It tracks ambient CO2 for calibration tests. I never turned it on, but there was a log, 2:41 a.m., 2 overlapping respiration patterns, one labeled automatically as primary, the other labeled as user 2. I live alone, and when I checked again later that night, it was still there.